Officer, what did I do wrong? Brannigan ignores her. He grabs her arm, yanks her out of the car, shoves her face first onto the hood. A black woman. Alone. Helpless. Just how he likes it. You want to know what you did wrong? He presses her cheek into cold metal. You exist. You breathe. You drive through my town like you matter. His hand grips the back of her neck. Let me make something clear. His voice drops, venomous. Know your place, black woman. You're nothing. You'll always be nothing. Karen Preston stays silent. Still. Calm. She knows her place. And it's so far above him, he can't even imagine it. But Brannigan won't learn that until it's far too late. And when he does, he won't just panic. He'll break. 12 hours from now, Officer Kyle Brannigan will be in handcuffs. Not the kind he puts on suspects. The kind reserved for criminals. The kind that end careers. The kind that start prison sentences. 12 hours from now, FBI agents will escort him through the precinct he once ruled. His badge will be gone. His gun will be confiscated. His sergeant will watch in disbelief. His colleagues will step back, far back. No one will defend him. No one will even look him in the eye. 12 hours from now, the man who pressed a black woman's face into cold metal will be the one in chains. But right now, on this empty highway, Kyle Brannigan believes he's untouchable. And why wouldn't he? 14 years on the force. 14 years of doing whatever he wants. 11 formal complaints filed against him. 11 complaints buried by his supervisors. Exposed, dismissed, forgotten. He's beaten suspects, planted evidence, fabricated charges, destroyed lives. And nothing has ever happened to him. Nothing ever sticks. He's protected, shielded, bulletproof. Until tonight. The woman pinned to the hood of that rental car is Karen Preston, 52 years old, unmarried, no children, dedicated entirely to her work, and her work is justice. Karen Preston is a federal appeals court judge, one of the most powerful judicial positions in the United States. Her rulings have shaped national policy. Her opinions have been cited by the Supreme Court. She has put away cartel bosses who ordered hits on federal witnesses. She's sentenced corrupt senators who sold their votes to the highest bidder. She's stared down cop killers in her courtroom and never blinked. Death threats don't scare her. Armed criminals don't intimidate her. She's survived 3 assassination attempts and returned to the bench the next morning. But that's not why tonight matters. Tonight matters because Karen Preston is leading a secret grand jury investigation. For 6 months, she's been building a case against the most corrupt police unit in the state. Officers who abuse their badges, sergeants who bury complaints, a deputy chief who orders cover-ups, Brannigan's unit. The manila folder in Karen's back seat contains 300 pages of evidence, body cam footage, witness statements, internal emails, buried complaints. Brannigan's name appears on page 3, badge number 5523. 11 complaints, 47 pages of documented abuse. He doesn't know any of this. He doesn't know that every word he speaks tonight is being recorded. Every action he takes is being documented. Every insult he hurls digs his grave deeper. The grand jury needed one final piece of evidence, something undeniable, something caught in real time. Officer Kyle Brannigan is about to provide it. Personally. He thinks he's teaching a black woman her place. He's actually handing his career to the woman who will end it. The night air is cold. Karen feels it through her blazer as Brannigan keeps her pressed against the hood. Her cheek stings from the metal. Her neck aches from his grip. But she doesn't move, doesn't complain, doesn't give him the satisfaction. She waits. Headlights appear in the distance. A second patrol car. Blue and red lights mix with the darkness. Another officer steps out. Younger. Nervous. His name tag reads Riley. Officer Thomas Riley. 28 years old. 3 years on the force. Clean record. No complaints. The kind of cop who joined to make a difference. He hasn't made a difference yet. He's been too afraid. Riley approaches the scene slowly. His eyes take in everything. A black woman in expensive clothes, face down on a rental car, Brannigan's hand on her neck, his stomach turns. What do we have? Riley keeps his voice neutral. Brannigan grins. Wide, predatory. Suspicious vehicle, possible narcotics, maybe stolen. Riley looks at the car. A standard rental sedan. Hertz sticker on the windshield. Clean. No damage. No suspicious markings. Current registration. He looks at the woman. Her blazer costs more than his monthly salary. Her watch is worth more than his car. She doesn't look like a drug dealer. She doesn't look like a thief. She looks like a lawyer, or a doctor, or a judge. Narcotics? Riley's voice wavers slightly. That's what I said. Brannigan's tone sharpens. Dangerous. You questioning me, rookie? No, sir. Good. Run her license, and keep your mouth shut. Riley takes the license from Brannigan's hand, looks at the name. Preston. Karen A. Something flickers in his memory. He's seen this name before. Somewhere important, somewhere official. Then it clicks. 6 months ago. Federal courthouse. Riley was subpoenaed to testify about a use of force incident in his precinct. Not his incident, Brannigan's. But Riley had witnessed it. Riley had been there. The judge who questioned him was thorough, professional, intimidating. She asked questions no one else had asked. She saw through the lies no one else had challenged. Her name was Karen Preston. Riley's hand freezes. His throat tightens. His heart pounds. He looks at the woman on the hood. Same face, same calm expression, same unshakable composure. This is a federal judge. A federal appeals court judge. And Brannigan has her pinned to a car like a common criminal. Riley says nothing. He can't. Not yet. If he speaks up, Brannigan will destroy him. He's seen it happen to others. Officers who questioned Brannigan. Officers who reported him. They're gone now. Transferred. Fired. Broken. But Riley can do something else. His body camera is running. It's been running since he stepped out of his cruiser. Standard procedure. Automatic activation. Every second of this stop is being recorded. Riley angles his body slightly. Casually. Naturally. Just enough to ensure his camera captures Brannigan's face. Every word, every action, every violation. Brannigan doesn't notice. He's too busy enjoying himself. Search the vehicle, Brannigan orders. Riley hesitates. On what grounds? Brannigan turns, his eyes narrow. Cold. Threatening. On the grounds that I told you to. You got a problem with that, rookie? A warrantless search. No probable cause. Fourth Amendment violation. Another charge to add to the list. No, sir. Riley moves toward the rental car, opens the passenger door. His eyes scan the interior. Clean, spotless. A woman's purse on the passenger seat. A briefcase. Nothing suspicious. Then he sees the back seat. A thick manila folder sits there. The cover reads, Grand Jury, Confidential. Riley's blood turns to ice. Grand Jury. Confidential. Federal investigation. He doesn't touch it, doesn't open it, doesn't breathe. He closes the door quietly, returns to Brannigan, keeps his face blank. Nothing visible, sir. Brannigan snorts. Figures. These people always hide their stash somewhere clever. He yanks Karen upright, spins her around, gets in her face. Where is it? Where is what? Karen's voice is steady, unafraid. The drugs, the weapons, whatever you're hiding. I'm not hiding anything. I'm driving to a meeting. Brannigan laughs, sharp, mocking. A meeting, At 10 p.m. on a highway outside the city. He leans closer. His breath is sour. What kind of meeting? Drug deal? Prostitution ring? What's a black woman like you doing out here alone? Karen meets his eyes. Doesn't flinch. I'm an attorney. An attorney. Brannigan's mockery drips with contempt. Right. And I'm the police commissioner. I can provide identification, bar association card, federal credentials, whatever you need. Shut up. Brannigan grabs her wrists. Rough. Painful. You people always have excuses. Always have lies. I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm somebody important. He produces handcuffs, dangles them in front of her face. Here's the truth, sweetheart. Out here, on my highway, your fancy words mean nothing. Your fancy clothes mean nothing. Your fancy car means nothing. He spins her around, wrenches her arms behind her back. The metal bites into her wrists. You're just another black woman who forgot her place. Click, click. The handcuffs lock. And I'm going to remind you. Karen doesn't resist, doesn't protest, doesn't show fear. Because she knows something Brannigan doesn't. That manila folder in the back seat contains his entire history. 11 complaints, all from black drivers, all involving fabricated charges, all involving excessive force, all buried by his sergeant. His name is highlighted in yellow. His badge number is circled in red. His pattern of abuse is documented across 47 pages, and the woman he just handcuffed is the one who compiled it all. Riley watches in silence. His camera records everything. His phone burns in his pocket like a grenade. He knows what he has to do. He just doesn't know if he has the courage to do it. Brannigan shoves Karen toward his patrol car. His grip is unnecessarily rough. His pace is deliberately fast. She stumbles on the uneven asphalt. He doesn't slow down, doesn't help, doesn't care. Watch your step, he mocks. Wouldn't want you to hurt yourself. That would be a real tragedy. The cruiser door opens. Brannigan places his hand on Karen's head. Standard procedure. Officers do it to protect suspects from hitting the doorframe. Brannigan doesn't protect. He pushes, hard. Karen's forehead nearly cracks against the metal. She ducks at the last second, barely avoids the impact. Brannigan smiles. He shoves her into the back seat. The door slams like a gunshot. Through the window, Karen watches him swagger back to her rental car. He searches it himself this time. Thorough. Destructive. He dumps her purse onto the pavement. Lipstick rolls into the gutter. Credit cards scatter across the asphalt. A photograph of her parents lands face down in a puddle. He empties her briefcase. Legal documents flutter in the wind. Case files. Court schedules. 6 months of work treated like garbage. He doesn't find the manila folder. It's wedged under the passenger seat, hidden in shadow. But he finds something else. A small tin in the center console, silver, decorative. He opens it, sniffs the contents. Well, well, well. His voice carries across the empty highway, loud, triumphant. What do we have here? Breath mints. The tin is full of breath mints. Wintergreen, the kind sold at every gas station in America. Looks like narcotics to me. Brannigan holds up the tin, shows it to Riley. Wouldn't you say, Officer Riley? Riley stares at the mints. His jaw tightens. His fists clench. Sir, those appear to be suspicious substances. Brannigan cuts him off. Sharp. Warning. Requiring further testing at the precinct. Wouldn't you agree? Riley understands. Agree or suffer. Yes, sir. Brannigan bags the mints, treats them like evidence, seals them, labels them, makes a show of it. He walks back to the cruiser, opens the driver's door, slides behind the wheel. Dispatch, This is Unit 5523. The radio crackles. I have one in custody. Black female, age 50 to 55, suspected narcotics possession, possibly stolen vehicle, transporting to precinct for processing. The dispatcher's voice comes back. Bored. Routine. Copy. 5523. Proceed. Brannigan glances at Karen through the rearview mirror. She sits straight, still, silent. Not crying, not begging, not afraid. It bothers him. Comfortable back there? She doesn't respond. You know what I love about this job? He starts the engine. The cruiser vibrates. Justice. Real justice. Not the kind they teach in fancy law schools. The kind that happens on the streets. The kind where people like me keep people like you in line. Karen remains silent. Nothing to say? No legal threats? No, "I'll have your badge" speech? He laughs. Good. You're learning already. Faster than most of your kind. The cruiser pulls onto the highway. In the rearview mirror, Riley's patrol car follows. Karen watches the lights fade behind her. Her rental car sits abandoned on the shoulder, her belongings scattered in the dirt, her dignity intact. If Brannigan had found that manila folder, everything would be different. He would have seen his own photograph on page 3. He would have seen the complaint filed by Denise Washington, a black nurse he arrested for a broken taillight 3 years ago. He fractured her wrist during the arrest, claimed she resisted. She didn't. The complaint was dismissed. He would have seen the complaint filed by Marcus Coleman, a black teacher he pulled over for driving too slow 2 years ago. He impounded the car, found nothing, charged him with obstruction. The charges were dropped. The complaint was dismissed. He would have seen the complaint filed by Jerome Davis, a black teenager he detained for looking suspicious last year. The boy was walking home from work. Brannigan held him for 6 hours. No charges, no explanation, no apology. The complaint was dismissed. He would have seen 11 complaints, 11 black victims, 11 lives damaged, 11 cover-ups. And he would have seen the recommendation at the bottom of page 47. Sufficient evidence exists to pursue federal civil rights charges against Officer Kyle Brannigan, badge 5523. The signature beneath that recommendation belongs to Judge Karen A. Preston. But Brannigan didn't find the folder. He was too busy proving every word in it true. In the following cruiser, Riley drives in silence. His mind races. His camera records. His phone sits in his pocket like a loaded weapon. He has a choice: protect his career, or protect the truth. The precinct lights appear in the distance. Riley knows what he has to do. For the first time in 3 years, he's not afraid to do it. The Oak Ridge precinct buzzes with late-night activity. Officers typing reports, phones ringing in empty offices, the smell of burnt coffee and industrial cleaner, fluorescent lights humming overhead. Brannigan parks in the reserved lot, opens Karen's door, drags her out. "Welcome to my house," he says. "Hope you like it. You'll be here a while." He parades her through the bullpen like a trophy. Heads turn. Officers look up from their desks. Some smirk, some nod. Some shake their heads, but say nothing. They've seen this before. Brannigan bringing in another suspect. Another black driver. Another fabricated charge. No one questions it. No one intervenes. No one wants to be next. "Got a live one tonight, boys." Brannigan announces it to the room. Proud, boastful. "Caught her on the highway. Suspicious vehicle. Narcotics. The whole package." A few officers chuckle. "Classic Brannigan," someone mutters. Karen is led to the booking desk. A bored officer with a coffee-stained shirt takes her information. Fingerprints, mugshot. The whole humiliating process. She cooperates silently, gives her name, her address, her date of birth. The booking officer types without looking up. Occupation? Attorney. Brannigan snorts behind her. Sure, and I'm a Supreme Court justice. The officer glances at Karen, then at Brannigan, types unemployed in the field. Karen doesn't correct him. She doesn't need to. In a few hours, the correction will make itself. Brannigan grabs her arm, leads her to a holding cell. The bars slam shut. Get comfortable, sweetheart. Lawyer will be here in the morning, if you can afford one. He laughs. Sleep tight. He walks away, disappears into the bullpen. The other officers welcome him back like a conquering hero. Karen sits on the metal bench, cold, hard, uncomfortable. Her wrists are red from the handcuffs. Her blazer is wrinkled. Her cheek still stings from the hood of the car. But her mind is clear. She has one phone call. She makes it count. Not to a lawyer. A lawyer would take hours. Not to a family member. She doesn't have any close by. She calls Chief Justice Margaret Collins. The call lasts 14 seconds. Margaret, it's Karen. I've been detained. Oak Ridge Precinct. Fabricated narcotics charges. Silence on the other end. Are you hurt? No. But the officer who arrested me is Kyle Brannigan, badge 5523. More silence. Margaret understands. Sit tight. I'm making calls. The line goes dead. Karen hangs up the phone, returns to her cell, sits on the bench. Margaret Collins has been a federal judge for 32 years. She has connections in every law enforcement agency in the country. FBI, U.S. Marshals, Department of Justice, Secret Service. Within minutes, she will activate all of them. The cavalry is coming. Meanwhile, Riley lingers outside. The rental car needs to be processed. Towed to impound. Standard procedure. But Riley has other plans. He walks to his patrol car, sits inside, closes the door. Privacy. He pulls out his phone. Not his department phone. His personal phone. The one they can't trace. He dials a number he memorized 6 months ago. The grand jury tip line. The secure channel for reporting corruption. A woman answers. Federal tip line. How can I direct your call? This is Officer Thomas Riley. Badge 7 Sierra Echo Alpha 0914. Oak Ridge Police Department. His voice is low, steady, controlled. I need to report an unlawful arrest in progress. Nature of the report? A federal judge has been falsely arrested. She's being held at Oak Ridge Precinct on fabricated narcotics charges. Silence. Did you say a federal judge? Yes, ma'am. Judge Karen Preston, Federal Appeals Court. I witnessed the arrest. I have body camera footage of the entire incident. More silence. Longer this time. Hold the line, Officer Riley. 30 seconds pass. A minute. Riley watches the precinct door. If anyone sees him on the phone, a new voice comes on. Deeper, more authoritative. Officer Riley, this is Special Agent Diane Crawford, FBI Civil Rights Division. Tell me exactly what happened. From the beginning. Don't leave anything out. Riley tells her everything. The traffic stop. No probable cause. No legal justification. The racial slurs. You people. Your kind. Know your place. The fabricated search. Breath mints treated as narcotics. The excessive force. Face pressed into the hood. Head shoved toward the car frame. The false arrest. Handcuffs. Humiliation. Degradation. Crawford listens without interrupting, taking notes, recording everything. When Riley finishes, she speaks. Officer Riley, I need you to do exactly as I say. Can you do that? Yes, ma'am. Return to the precinct. Act normal. Don't alert Brannigan or anyone else. Preserve all recordings. Do not let anyone access or delete your body camera footage. Understood? Yes, ma'am. We're sending a team. ETA 45 minutes. Can you hold? Yes, ma'am. One more thing. Crawford's voice softens, just slightly. What you're doing takes courage. Most officers wouldn't make this call, remember that. The line goes dead. Riley pockets his phone, takes a breath, steps out of the cruiser. The precinct looks different now. Same building, same officers, same flickering lights and stained carpets. But Riley sees it clearly for the first time. The rot beneath the surface. The corruption everyone pretends not to see. The brotherhood that protects predators and punishes whistleblowers. He walks inside, takes his position near the back of the room. Watches. Waits. 20 minutes later, Sergeant Ronald Holt arrives. 54 years old. 28 years on the force. 3 internal investigations. 2 departmental reviews. 0 consequences. Holt knows how to make problems disappear. It's his specialty, his gift. He spots Riley, approaches. His voice is low, confidential. I hear you were on scene tonight. Yes, sir. And your body camera was running? Riley's stomach tightens. Standard procedure, sir. Holt nods, slowly, thoughtfully. Good. Good. He glances around, makes sure no one is listening, leans closer. Listen, Riley. Tonight's arrest. It needs to be clean. No complications, no loose ends. You understand? Sir? Your footage. Holt's eyes bore into him. Cold. Warning. Make sure it's complete. Make sure it tells the right story, the right version of events. Riley understands perfectly. Delete the evidence. Alter the timeline. Protect Brannigan. Protect the system. I'll review it personally, sir. Good man. Holt pats his shoulder. Paternal. Threatening. Brannigan's a good cop. Rough around the edges, but effective. We take care of our own here. You understand that, don't you, Riley? Yes, sir, I understand. Holt smiles. Satisfied. Walks away. Riley doesn't move. His body camera is still attached to his vest. Still running. Still recording. It just captured a sergeant ordering evidence tampering. Obstruction of justice. Conspiracy. One more charge for the indictment. In her cell, Karen sits motionless. Eyes closed, breathing slow. Waiting. She's been patient for 6 months, building the case, gathering evidence, documenting the pattern. She can be patient for a few more hours. The trap is set. All she has to do is wait for them to walk into it. An hour passes. Brannigan is having the best night of his career. He leans back at his desk, coffee in hand. 3 officers gathered around him. He's telling the story again, 4th time. Each version more exaggerated than the last. You should have seen her face. He mimics shock, fear, confusion. Thought she was somebody special. Thought she was untouchable. The officers laugh. Best part? Brannigan grins. Wide. Cruel. She tried to tell me she's an attorney. An attorney! He raises his voice, mocks a feminine tone. I'm a lawyer. I know my rights. I demand to speak to my representative. More laughter. Louder now. Then she says she's going to a meeting at 10 p.m. on a deserted highway. A meeting. He slaps his desk. What kind of meeting? Drug deal? Prostitution ring? Secret black lawyer convention? One officer nearly spits out his coffee. These people always have excuses. Brannigan shakes his head, playing the wise veteran. Always have stories. I'm a doctor. I'm a professor. I'm a judge. He snorts. Sure, sweetheart. And I'm the chief of police. The laughter echoes through the bullpen. Riley watches from across the room. His face is blank. His hands are steady. His phone buzzes in his pocket. He checks it casually. A text message. Crawford. Federal team en route. ETA 15 minutes. Maintain position. Preserve all evidence. Do not alert subjects. Riley pockets the phone, keeps his expression neutral. 15 minutes. Brannigan continues his performance. I tell you, boys, nothing feels better than putting these people in their place, reminding them how things really work. Who really runs these streets? Think she'll make bail? Someone asks. With what money? Brannigan laughs. She's probably got a public defender on speed dial, if she can even afford that. More laughter. 10 minutes. The front desk phone rings. The night sergeant answers. His expression changes. Blood drains from his face. His hand tightens on the receiver. Yes. Yes, sir. Of course. Right away, sir. He hangs up. Looks around the room. His eyes find Brannigan. Kyle. Brannigan looks up, annoyed at the interruption. What? There's someone here to see whoever's in charge. The sergeant swallows hard. FBI, 3 of them. They say it's urgent. The laughter dies. Every officer in the room freezes. Brannigan's coffee mug stops halfway to his lips. FBI? Here? For what? They didn't say. The bullpen goes silent. Keyboards stop clicking. Conversations stop mid-sentence. Everyone stares at the front entrance. Riley stays perfectly still. His heart pounds. His face reveals nothing. The front door opens. 3 figures enter. Dark suits, federal badges, faces carved from granite. Leading them is a woman, tall, confident, authority radiating from every step. Special Agent Diane Crawford, FBI Civil Rights Division. She's not here to ask questions. She's here to end careers. Crawford's eyes sweep the room. They land on Brannigan, still at his desk, still holding his coffee, still wearing that smug smile, though it's fading fast. Officer Kyle Brannigan. Her voice cuts through the silence like a blade. Badge 5523. It's not a question. Brannigan sets down his mug. Slowly, carefully. He stands, adjusts his belt, tries to project confidence. That's me. He forces a smile. What can I do for you, Agent? Crawford. Special Agent Diane Crawford. FBI Civil Rights Division. Civil Rights Division. The words hang in the air, heavy, ominous. Every officer in the room knows what they mean. Investigations into police misconduct, federal charges, career-ending consequences. Brannigan's smile falters, just slightly. Is there somewhere private we can talk? Crawford asks. Sure, of course. Brannigan gestures toward the interview rooms. Right this way. Whatever you need. Crawford doesn't move toward the interview rooms. Instead, she turns, walks in the opposite direction, toward the holding cells. Her 2 agents flank her. Their footsteps echo in the silent precinct. Brannigan follows, confused, annoyed. Agent Crawford, the interview rooms are the other direction. Crawford stops. She stands in front of a cell. The cell holding Karen Preston. She turns to face the bars. Her voice carries across the entire precinct, clear, deliberate, loud enough for everyone to hear. Judge Preston, Federal Appeals Court. Are you injured? Do you require medical attention? The word judge detonates like a bomb. Brannigan stops mid-step. His foot hovers above the floor. It never comes down. Judge? His voice cracks. What did you just say? Crawford turns, faces him. Her expression is ice. I said judge, as in federal judge, as in the Honorable Karen A. Preston of the United States Court of Appeals. She holds up her phone. On the screen, a photograph from the Federal Judiciary website. A black woman in judicial robes. American flag behind her. Wooden gavel in hand. The same face. The same calm eyes. The same unshakable composure. The same woman Brannigan called nothing. The same woman he pressed into the hood of a car. The same woman he told to know her place. Brannigan stares at the photo. His coffee mug slips from his fingers. It shatters on the floor. Brown liquid explodes across the concrete. Ceramic shards scatter in every direction. He doesn't look down. He can't. He can't stop staring at the photo, at the truth, at his own destruction. That's not possible. The words come out broken, fractured. She can't be. Oh, she is. Crawford's voice is steel. And you just handed her everything she needed. Brannigan's face transforms. Color drains from his cheeks, white as paper. His lips part. No sound comes out. His eyes dart wildly, to the cell, to Karen, to Crawford, back to Karen, looking for the lie, looking for the trick, looking for any escape. There is none. His hand shoots to the wall. He needs support. His legs are failing. His knees are buckling. Short, sharp breaths, hyperventilating, panicking. Across the room, officers step back, physically distance themselves, create space between them and Brannigan. No one wants to be associated with what he just did. Sergeant Holt bursts through a door. What the hell is going on out? He sees the FBI, sees Brannigan against the wall, sees the phone with the judge's photograph. His sentence dies in his throat. The cell door buzzes. Karen steps out, slowly, deliberately. She smooths her wrinkled blazer, adjusts her collar, takes her time. Then she faces Brannigan. For the first time since the traffic stop, they stand as equals. No, not equals. She stands above him. She always did. Officer Brannigan. Her voice is calm, measured, colder than the handcuffs he put on her wrists. You told me to know my place. She takes one step toward him. He flinches. A grown man, armed, trained, flinching from an unarmed woman half his size. My place is on the federal bench. Her eyes don't waver. Your name is on page 3 of my investigation file, badge number 5523. 11 complaints, all buried, all documented, all coming back to destroy you. Brannigan's mouth opens, closes, opens again. I didn't know. You didn't need to know. Karen's voice drops, quiet now, almost gentle, almost pitying. You needed to treat me like a human being, like a citizen, like a person with rights and dignity. She pauses. You couldn't manage that. Brannigan's knees give out. He slides down the wall, lands on the floor, sits in the puddle of his own spilled coffee. Broken ceramic all around him. 14-year veteran, decorated officer, sitting in a puddle on the floor, unable to stand, unable to speak, unable to comprehend how completely he's destroyed himself. The precinct is silent. No one moves. No one speaks. Somewhere, a phone rings. No one answers it. Crawford breaks the silence. Officer Brannigan, you are not under arrest yet, but I strongly advise you to remain available for questioning. She turns to Holt. Her eyes are cold. Sergeant, a word. Now. Holt's face is gray. His hands tremble. He follows Crawford like a man walking to his own execution, because he is. Crawford escorts Karen to a private office, away from the stairs, away from the whispers, away from Brannigan, still slumped on the floor in a puddle of coffee and broken dreams. Judge Preston. Crawford's tone softens, professional respect. I apologize for what you experienced tonight. It never should have happened. Karen signs for her belongings. Phone, keys, watch. Her hands are steady. They never stopped being steady. It happens every day, Agent Crawford. She looks up. To people who don't have federal badges coming to rescue them. People who don't have titles. People who don't have power. Crawford nods. Understanding. Agreement. That's exactly why we're here. To make sure it stops. Starting tonight. A knock at the door. Riley enters. Hesitant. Nervous. His eyes meet Karen's. He looks younger now. Vulnerable. A young man standing at a crossroads, unsure if he chose the right path. Judge Preston, He stops. Swallows. Starts again. I should have intervened sooner. On the highway. When he was... His voice cracks. I'm sorry, I should have done more. Karen studies him. The young officer who stood silently while Brannigan humiliated her. The young officer who made a phone call that changed everything. Officer Riley? Her voice is firm but not unkind. You documented everything. You contacted the tip line. You preserved your body camera footage when your sergeant ordered you to delete it. Riley's eyes widen. How did you... I've been investigating this unit for 6 months. Karen allows herself the smallest smile. I know everything, including who tried to help, and who tried to cover up. She reaches into her pocket, produces a business card. Simple, elegant. Federal court seal embossed in gold. She places it in Riley's hand. When this is over, I want you to call me. Officers like you are why the system can still work, why justice is still possible. Riley stares at the card. His hand trembles slightly. Don't let tonight break you, Officer Riley. Karen's voice softens. Let it define you. Let it remind you why you became a cop in the first place. Riley nods, speechless, overwhelmed. Through the office window, Karen sees Brannigan finally being helped to his feet. His legs won't hold steady. His face is blank, shocked, destroyed. She watches for a moment. No satisfaction, no triumph, just the cold clarity of justice about to be served. She turns back to Crawford. Now, Agent Crawford, let's finish what Officer Brannigan started. Crawford nods. With pleasure, Your Honor. The door opens. The evidence dump is about to begin. The captain's office transforms into a courtroom. Crawford sets up a laptop, a projector, a portable screen. FBI agents position themselves at every exit. No one leaves. No one makes calls. No one escapes. Brannigan sits in a chair against the wall. His hands shake uncontrollably. His face is pale. Empty. The arrogance is gone. The swagger is gone. Nothing remains but fear. Sergeant Holt stands nearby, arms crossed, jaw clenched, trying to project calm, failing completely. 3 other officers are present, men who laughed at Brannigan's jokes, men who looked the other way, men who are about to become witnesses or defendants. Karen takes her place beside Crawford. The manila folder sits on the table in front of her. 300 pages, 6 months of investigation. Tonight's conclusion. Let's begin, Crawford says. The screen flickers to life. Body camera footage. Officer Thomas Riley's body camera. The scene plays in perfect clarity. Karen's rental car on the empty highway. Blue and red lights flashing. Brannigan approaching with his flashlight aimed like a weapon. The audio is crystal clear. Every word captured. Every syllable preserved. You people need to learn where you belong. Karen being yanked from the car, slammed onto the hood. Brannigan's hand on her neck, his knee in her back. Know your place, black woman. You're nothing. You'll always be nothing. Someone in the room gasps. Another officer looks away. The reality of what they witnessed, what they allowed, hits them like a hammer. The footage continues. The fabricated search. The breath mints seized as evidence. The handcuffs biting into Karen's wrists. The shove toward the cruiser. her head nearly cracking against the door frame. "I'm going to teach you." Crawford pauses the video. The room is silent, heavy, suffocating. "Officer Brannigan." Crawford's voice is cold, clinical. "Your own body camera footage from tonight shows a 4-minute gap during the traffic stop. Care to explain?" Brannigan's voice comes out as a whisper. "Technical malfunction. Technical malfunction." Crawford nods slowly. "Interesting. Because our forensic team recovered the deleted footage from your camera's memory chip." She clicks a button. New footage appears on screen. Brannigan's face, close up. His own camera recording him before the stop. "Dispatch, I'm about to make some black bitch's night real bad." He laughs, adjusts the camera angle. The footage cuts to black. The room goes absolutely still. Brannigan stares at the screen, at his own face, his own words, his own destruction. He has nothing to say. There's nothing to say. Karen opens the manila folder. "Let me show you what else we have." She removes a document, slides it across the table. "Complaint filed by Denise Washington, October 2023, a black nurse, registered nurse at St. Mary's Hospital, 23 years of service." Karen pauses, lets the details sink in. "You arrested her for a broken taillight. During the arrest, you fractured her wrist. She required surgery. 8 weeks of physical therapy. She lost her job because she couldn't perform her duties." Another document. "You claimed she resisted arrest. Your body camera showed a 4-minute gap." Convenient. Karen's voice hardens. "The complaint was dismissed by Internal Affairs, signed off by Sergeant Ronald Holt." Holt's jaw tightens. He says nothing. Another document. "Complaint filed by Marcus Coleman, February 2024. A black teacher, 8th grade history, 31 years in the classroom." Karen spreads the pages across the table. "You pulled him over for driving too slow. There is no such violation. You impounded his vehicle, searched it for 2 hours, found nothing, charged him with obstruction of justice for asking why he was stopped." Another document. "The charges were dropped by the DA's office. The complaint was dismissed by Internal Affairs, signed off by Sergeant Ronald Holt." Another document. "Complaint filed by Jerome Davis, April 2024. A black teenager, 17 years old, honor student, working his way through high school." Karen's voice drops, colder now. "You detained him for 6 hours. His crime? Walking home from his after-school job, through a nice neighborhood. You called his mother a liar when she came to the precinct. You threatened to arrest her too." Another document. "No charges were filed, no explanation was given, no apology was offered. The complaint was dismissed by Internal Affairs, signed off by Sergeant Ronald Holt." Karen spreads 11 documents across the table. 11 complaints, 11 black victims, 11 dismissals, 11 signatures from the same sergeant. "This is a pattern, Officer Brannigan. A documented, systematic pattern of racial profiling, excessive force, false arrest, and civil rights violations." She turns to Holt. "And you, Sergeant, made it possible. Every complaint that came across your desk, you buried it. Every victim who came forward, you silenced them. Every piece of evidence that could have stopped this, you destroyed it." Holt's composure cracks. "I followed protocol. Those complaints didn't meet the standard." "The standard?" Karen cuts him off. "Let me show you the standard." Crawford advances the presentation. Emails appear on screen. The first email, from Holt to Deputy Chief Edward Morrison. Subject line, "Brannigan Complaints." "Chief, I've handled the latest Brannigan situation. Complaint has been filed appropriately. No further action required. The citizen has been discouraged from pursuing external review." The second email, Morrison's response. "Good work. Keep handling it. Brannigan is effective. We need officers who aren't afraid to do what's necessary. The third email, Morrison to Holt, dated 6 months ago. Handle the Brannigan situation internally. No external review, no federal involvement. That's an order. The signature is clear. Deputy Chief Edward Morrison. The room is silent. Karen lets the evidence speak for itself. Officer Brannigan isn't an anomaly. Her voice fills the room, steady, certain, devastating. He's a symptom. The disease is institutional. She points to Holt. Sergeant Holt buried 11 complaints, destroyed evidence, obstructed justice, intimidated witnesses, made victims disappear from the system. She points to the screen. Deputy Chief Morrison authorized the cover-up, ordered the suppression of citizen complaints, protected an officer he knew was violating civil rights, put his career above the law. She closes the folder. Tonight, Officer Brannigan handed me the final piece of evidence I needed. He demonstrated his pattern of abuse in real time, on camera, to a federal judge. She pauses, looks directly at Brannigan. You thought you were teaching me a lesson. You were, just not the lesson you intended. Crawford steps forward. Based on this evidence, the FBI is opening a formal civil rights investigation into the Oak Ridge Police Department. Her voice is official. Final. Officer Kyle Brannigan, Sergeant Ronald Holt. You are persons of interest in a federal investigation. Do not leave the city. Do not contact witnesses. Do not attempt to destroy evidence. She pauses. Any questions? Brannigan stares at the floor. His career destroyed. His reputation destroyed. His freedom soon to follow. He has no questions. He has no words. He has nothing. Holt's face is gray. His hands hang limp at his sides. 28 years on the force. All of it ending in this room. Karen gathers her folder, stands. One more thing, Officer Brannigan. He looks up. His eyes are wet. His lips tremble. You wanted to teach me my place. Karen's voice drops, quiet, almost gentle. Consider this your lesson. My place is on the bench. Your place is in front of it. And soon, very soon, you'll stand before a judge who looks just like me. Who knows exactly what you are. Who will give you exactly what you deserve. She walks toward the door, stops, turns back. Welcome to justice, Officer Brannigan. Real justice. The kind you never believed in. The door closes behind her. In the silence of that room, Kyle Brannigan puts his face in his hands and begins to cry. 48 hours later, federal courthouse, grand jury room, 12 citizens seated in judgment, 1 federal prosecutor presenting evidence, 300 pages of documentation. The deliberations take 4 hours. The indictments come down. Officer Kyle Brannigan. Deprivation of rights under color of law. Civil rights violations. False arrest. Excessive force. Filing false police reports. Evidence tampering. If convicted, 25 years to life. Sergeant Ronald Holt. Obstruction of justice. Conspiracy to deprive civil rights. Evidence tampering. Witness intimidation. Accessory after the fact. If convicted, 15 to 20 years. Deputy Chief Edward Morrison. RICO charges. Pattern of corruption. Civil rights conspiracy. Obstruction of federal investigation. Abuse of office. If convicted, 30 years to life. 3 men. 3 badges. 3 careers destroyed. Justice moves slowly. But it moves. The press conference happens 2 hours after the indictments. U.S. Attorney Rebecca Simmons stands at the podium. Cameras flash. Reporters shout questions. The nation watches. Today, we announce federal indictments against 3 members of the Oak Ridge Police Department. She pauses, lets the words sink in. These indictments send a clear message. No one is above the law. Not officers, not sergeants, not chiefs. The badge is a responsibility, not a license. It demands accountability, not impunity. She looks directly into the cameras. To every citizen who has been wronged by those who swore to protect them, we see you, we hear you, and we will fight for you. She doesn't mention Karen's name. Her role remains sealed, protected, but everyone in law enforcement knows, everyone in the department knows. The woman Brannigan called nothing brought down an empire of corruption. 1 week later, Officer Thomas Riley receives a letter. FBI commendation for cooperation in a federal civil rights investigation. His body camera footage is cited as critical evidence. His courage is officially recognized. At the precinct, some officers glare at him, whisper behind his back, call him a rat, a traitor, a snitch. He doesn't care. He sleeps better now than he has in 3 years. He looks in the mirror and recognizes the man looking back. 2 weeks later, Judge Karen Preston returns to her courtroom. Black robe, wooden gavel, American flag behind her bench, first case of the morning. A young black man, 22 years old, college student, accused of resisting arrest during a traffic stop. The arresting officer claims the suspect was combative, aggressive, dangerous, a threat to public safety. The body camera footage tells a different story. Karen watches the video. A routine traffic stop, a nervous young man, an aggressive officer, hands raised in surrender, no resistance, no aggression, no threat. The arresting officer's body camera shows a 4-minute gap during the alleged incident. Karen's voice fills the courtroom. Technical malfunction? The prosecutor shifts uncomfortably. That's what the report indicates, Your Honor. I've heard that excuse before. Karen's eyes are cold. It wasn't convincing then. It's not convincing now. She turns to the defendant, a young man who could have been any of Brannigan's victims, any of the 11, any of the thousands across the country. Case dismissed. The defendant is free to go. The young man's mother weeps with relief. His lawyer embraces him. The prosecutor gathers his papers in silence. Justice. Real justice. The kind that matters. 1 month later. The Oak Ridge City Council votes unanimously. A new civilian oversight board. Independent review of all police complaints. Mandatory body camera policies with severe penalties for tampering. External audits of internal affairs. Community representation in hiring decisions. The reforms aren't perfect. They never are. Some officers still abuse their power. Some complaints still disappear. Some victims still suffer in silence. But change has begun. A crack in the wall, a light in the darkness, and 11 families receive letters. Their complaints against Officer Kyle Brannigan are being reopened. Their cases are being reviewed. Their voices are finally being heard. Denise Washington, the nurse with the broken wrist. She reads her letter and cries for an hour. Marcus Coleman, the teacher whose car was impounded. He frames his letter, hangs it in his classroom, shows it to his students. Never give up, he tells them. Justice is slow, but it's real. Jerome Davis, the teenager detained for walking. He's in college now, pre-law. He reads his letter and knows exactly what he wants to do with his life. 3 months later. Karen drives home. Same highway, same exit ramp, same stretch of empty road where her life intersected with Kyle Brannigan's. A police cruiser approaches from the opposite direction. Karen's hands tighten on the wheel. Just slightly, just for a moment. The cruiser passes. The officer inside glances at her. Recognition flickers in his eyes. He nods, respectful, professional. She nods back. Her phone buzzes, a text message. Riley, thank you for believing the system could work, for believing I could make a difference. Karen smiles, types her response. Karen, the system doesn't work by itself. It works because people like you make it work. One choice at a time, one act of courage at a time. She puts down the phone, keeps driving. The sun sets over Oak Ridge, orange and gold painting the sky. Another day ending, another chapter closing. She thinks about Brannigan, awaiting trial, facing decades in prison. His badge stripped, his pension revoked, his freedom vanishing. She thinks about Holt, pleading guilty, cooperating with prosecutors, naming names, trading dignity for a shorter sentence. She thinks about Morrison, still fighting the charges, hiring expensive lawyers, proclaiming innocence, fooling no one. She thinks about the system, broken in so many ways, corrupted by power, poisoned by prejudice, but not beyond repair. Never beyond repair. Kyle Brannigan told Karen Preston to know her place. He was right. She did know her place. Her place was on the bench, where she belonged, where she made a difference, where she held the powerful accountable. His place, in front of that bench, answering for his crimes, facing the consequences he never believed would come. He told her she was nothing. She proved she was everything he feared. He told her to stay in her place. She showed him exactly where that was. Justice doesn't always come quickly. It doesn't always come easily. Sometimes it takes months, sometimes years, sometimes a lifetime, but it comes. Sometimes through the courts, sometimes through the system, sometimes through the courage of one officer who makes a phone call, sometimes through the patience of one judge who refuses to be diminished. Karen Preston knew her place. She always had, and now so does everyone else.